everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Universe Within podcast. This episode of the show is being sponsored by the Amazonian Plant Healing Center, the Temple of the Way of Light. I've worked at the temple for about the past decade now, and I can really attest to the quality of the work that they do. They're located in the Peruvian Amazon, about 2 hours outside of the city of Iquitos, and they run 12-day retreats in which they have 6 different ceremonies, working predominantly with the plant medicine ayahuasca and the lineage of the Shipibo people, who are people who have a very long lineage of working with these plants. And it's a really amazing place to go and to experience the profundity, the healing, the learning that these sacred plant medicines have to offer. They're working with 4 different indigenous doctors or healers, 2 to 3 facilitators. They have yoga teachers, massage therapists, bone doctors, an amazing integration team, an amazing support staff. So it's a really beautiful place if you're interested in working with these plant medicines to go and be in a really safe and well-held space that allows people to go really deeply into this work and to experience all of the benefits that these plants have to offer. So if you'd like more information about them, you can check out their website at templeofthewayoflight.org. And some good news, they are now up and running. They were unfortunately closed for a really long time during the pandemic, but as of August of this year, they are back and running. So check out their website if you'd like more information about them. Also, myself and my colleague Murav Artsy are continuing to run dietas, which is one of the ways in which people can really go deeply into this world of plants and experience all of the healing, the magic, the teaching, and really the profundity that these plants have the ability to endow on us and to help us to really learn and heal on a really deep level. So we're continuing to run diets in the Sacred Valley of Peru. If you would like more information about that, you can check out my website at nicotianarustica.org and also Murav's site at tobaccodiets.com. My guest for today's show is my friend Kunti. I met Kunti here where I am in the Sacred Valley of Peru. She works with Temazcal, which is, some of you may be familiar with sweat lodges, maybe even things like saunas. The Temazcal is a very traditional Mexican process of going into a very heated enclosure, working with the 4 different elements, and as they often talk about, a process to die and to be reborn. If that sounds interesting, Kunti will talk a lot more about that. She also works with the moon dance. We got in some conversation about the sun dance, and also she does a lot of work with Kambo, which is a type of frog medicine, and also Buffo, which is a toad medicine, and both of those are very different. Kunti's a really amazing woman. We ended up talking, I think, for almost 5 hours, which is definitely the longest interview I've had yet. So I'm breaking this episode up into 2 parts. So part 1 will be predominantly talking about her background, the Temazcal, the sun and the moon dance, and then the second part will be about the frog and toad medicine. So if you're just tuning in for the first episode, stay tuned for the second episode. And if you're turning into the second episode, consider go back and to watch the first episode to learn a little bit more about her background, and also the Temazcal. So I think that's it. As always, if you're able to support this podcast, that's a really big help to me. Patreon is a really beautiful option. It's a subscription service. There's different tiers you can sign up for, donating as little as $1 a month, and it gives you back some really amazing benefits, things like early access to shows, bonus material, Q&As. That's a really big help to me to continue to make these podcasts and bring on these guests. To all of the patrons, to all of the people who have done that, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And if you are able to do that, I would deeply appreciate that. There's also the ability to direct donate via PayPal. I'll put a link to both of those in the show notes. Also with YouTube now, if you're watching on YouTube, there's the option to join the channel. It gives you a lot of the same perks as the Patreon options. There should be a little join button below the video if you're watching on a laptop or a PC. And then if you're not able to do that, Subscribing to the show is a really big help. It may seem like a small thing, but that's a really big help. So hitting the subscribe button, if you can, turn on the notification bells, like the video. That's a really big help with the algorithms and getting this show out to a bigger audience. And then with the audio version, going on Apple Podcasts, following the show, leaving a starred rating and a short review, that's a really big help. So I think that's it. And without further ado, here is my interview with Kunti.
Running out from the maze, running out of the maze today. Running out from the maze, running out from the maze, running out from the maze today. I'm running out from the maze, running out from the maze, run out of the maze today.
So we go now to the amphibious topic. Mm-hmm. Well, as I told you, Jason, my specialty of the works that I dedicate my life the most, as well to the Temazcal, that I don't organize like that often the Temazcal. No, I organize it until I feel the calling also of the people and the calling of holding that medicine. As well, because of the burning of so many trees, I always try to do it every certain time, every certain months. But the other area where like I dedicate most of my work and energy, and that I'm very like committed and in love of, is the work of with the animal medicines, that is amphibious medicines, I work both with alvarius, that, as I say at not at the beginning, but at some point of the interview, I talk about my journey to the desert, and that I start to work with it mostly after meeting my teacher, and then later here in Peru, I start to work with the Kambo, Both are very different. Both are coming from amphibians. One is a frog and one is a toad. The Kambo is coming from a frog. Is the secretion of this tree frog from the Amazon that is a very powerful purgative. And as I said in the past, as all the medicine of the Pachamama, of the Mother Earth, they work in integral humanity, kind of in other energetic bodies, in our physical body, like they work holistically with us. So the Kambo works mainly in the physical level. We can definitely feel it more in the physical level in the moment, because it's a kind of an intoxication with the poison of this frog. So this secretion of the Kambo is what the Kambo, or this frog, develops to protect against predators in the nature, in the natural life, in the wild natural life. There is many predators for them. So they produce this kind of venom or toxin that when they are catched by one predator, they have still chance of making again their life, like they can drop all this poison, and it petrifies the animal. Some of them can die, some of them can resist, depending on the amount also, but is their defense against the predators, both of the Kambo and of the Buffo. The thing is that they are both different species, and it's very different the way that they work, and the way that they produce this substance. In the case of the Kambo, is through the skin, it's through the skin that they produce it when they are under stress. And the persons that they are the harvesters, the one that has this beautiful connection with the medicine of the Kambo. A good harvester, the right way to do it is always with love, with gentleness, and with respect to the animal, because in both cases you have to catch the animal so you can get the medicine. No, what I know is that the Matses is one of the main tribes that has known this medicine ancestrally, and they know even how to call the frog, no, by imitating the sound and by literally calling the animal, so it's more accessible to take, because the tree frog lives in the trees, no, lives far away, like in the trees of the Amazon, they are huge, so they have to call the animal also. They have to have this connection, and it's also something that they learn in their own culture, in their own ancestrality or lineage, how to do it. And there is not so much people that continues with the all the ancestral connection with the medicine, like all this about calling the frog, so it starts to come down and approach, and you can actually take it. And they usually take it with the whole stick, because in the jungle, you can have a lot of wounds in your hand, and it goes there. It just needs, the Kambo just needs a little open wound to get into the bloodstream, so it can make the effect, And the Buffo alvarius, between 495 and 500, and so different kinds of Buffo that they exist in the nature. There is some of them that produce the medicine that we are looking for, there is the Buffo alvarius is the main one, but it's also Buffo marinus, that is the one that appears in some old pre-colony draws and sculpts in the ancient Mexico. That is has been distinguished not as Buffo alvarius but as Buffo marinus, that was from that area. Buffo alvarius is one of those hundreds of buffos that is the only one that produces the 5-MeO-DMT molecule. As I told you, when I was in the desert, there is a bunch of toads all over around, because they are coming out from for the rain, because it's super hot in the desert, it's super dry, so they only go out when it's rainy, so they can refresh and they can reproduce and do their little life there. Because the Buffo alvarius is a very unique animal, and that is, by explaining this, maybe I can explain a little bit of the mystery that this medicine has, The Buffo alvarius is called also Colorado River toad, and it lives in around the areas of the Colorado River, including some parts of Mexico and some parts of USA. And Mexico is located in the Sonora Desert, Sonora. And in Sonora, as I say, is a desertic area. Is very, very hot, and is very, very dry. And with these problems with the weather that we are having, the global heat, the global warm, and all the irregularities is being every time worse. The weather there is very hostile. So this magical, beautiful animal only lives in the surface of the earth during 3 months of the year, if the rainy season comes. If the rainy season doesn't come, there is no buffos over there, because it's the moist of the rain and the sound of the rain that awakes these animals. When the rainy season ends, they dig in and they hibernate over 8 to 9 months of the year inside of the earth without needing anything. They dry themselves like a cookie, and when the rain comes and is moistening the desertic air, the desertic dirt, and is also making the noise, they start to awake and they start to get moist and they come back to life. So for me, it is something very mystical, very magical, because they exist in different dimensions most of their life. They are existent in superior dimensions or other dimensions that is not a physical experience, because they can't survive without the rain there. So when the rain comes, is the only chance that they have of reproducing and having their life, outside of the earth. So they start to go out and start to look for the rain, for the lakes. There is not so much like lakes in the desert, but there is few places, where there is like natural water. Little lakes, not that bigger, but those places is what they are looking for, like where is water, where it's fresh. They are night animals because in the day is very strong for them, and it's during the evening, in the night, that they start to come out. Mostly if there is raining, they go out and refresh themselves. Many of these frogs are like squashed like in the highway because of the cars, because they like the concrete. They like this kind of that is fresh with the rain and in the night, and they step into the highway, so most of them die by the cars, and this medicine is also, as I say, the substance that they produce to deal with the predators. The thing is that the Buffo alvarius, it has a glands, it has big glands behind the head, like over here, and in the legs over here. That is where it produces the substance, So for example, if it's catch in front or behind, it has these glands that will like drop this venom, and the predator at least will be petrified, so it can go out, it can go away, the toad. And what we call the medicine is the secretion of the glands of that toad. That is the only thing to do. It doesn't contain any process, cooking, or manufacturing. The only thing is to find the toad, to extract it, in front of a glass, and to let it dry. Because in the desert it's very easy that it dries, but it's like glue, what it comes out of their glands, So you leave it there to dry and then take it out, and then that's why we smoke. It's vaporization, how to say it, of this powder that we get, from the toad, and it's ingested by inhalation. Is not digestive, That's why it goes very quick into the neuronal system, and as well like the Kambo and toad, they go very quick. The effects of both, they are very quick because they are not digestive, Like Kambo goes right into the bloodstream as soon as it touches the wound. That's why we apply through a little burning to have access to this the bloodstream directly, And the Buffo, in seconds, like once that you are inhaling, is going to your brain directly, and is a matter of seconds, So they are both really intense, really strong medicines. Like I feel that is one of their animal characteristics, maybe, but they are very, very strong, very intense, but very beautiful, and with a lot of benefits that we really don't want to miss out, At least if we have the chance, of, for example, of purifying ourselves with the Kambo, I highly recommend it. It's amazing. So the Kambo is one of the strongest purgatives that we have in the nature, and it works a lot in the in cleaning the liver, in cleaning the gallbladder, cleaning the stomach, cleaning the intestines. It goes a lot to the digestive system, and is taken in a morning ceremony usually. It can be also other time of the day, But the thing with the Kambo is that you gotta be empty stomach. You gotta be fasting, and that's why I apply it more in the mornings, The person is with the empty stomach and will ingest a bunch of water. It's around 2 to 3 liters before the medicine. And as soon as I start to apply the medicine in the holes that I have burned, it's going to start to make effect very quick. Like Kambo has between 3 to 5-7 minutes to start the whole process. As everybody's different, some persons takes a little bit more, some persons maybe less, no? But minute 3, minute 5, you are peaking in the medicine of Kambo. And what it provocates is an intense purge that help us to get rid of all toxins, all the emotions, all memories in our bodies, pollution, things that they don't serve us anymore, no? Like that's why also provocates a lot of the intestinal movement, no? Like provoking some diarrhea that is characteristic of the Kambo. It doesn't happen all the time and it doesn't happen to everyone, but it's very characteristic to purge or to go to the toilet or both, no? And if it happens both, it's amazing because you are getting like full-on cleansing. And through the intestines also, Kambo drops a lot of the toxins that is in the liver and the gallbladder, like even stones and things like that can go out through the intestine, no? Also, when we are purging like yellow and green with the Kambo, is because it's affecting more the liver, no? It's cleansing the liver, the gallbladder, like taking out a bunch of bile, and also that's why it tastes sometimes the mouth like so bitter, is because that's what we had inside, no? That's the taste of the thing that we are purging out. It's very characteristic of the medicine, no? One of the main characteristics is that, like, well, it's like an intoxication, no? So we get swollen like a frog, not all the time, not everyone, but it's characteristic that you feel like swallowing in the face, in the mucous areas, like the lips, the eyes, no? Over here, like it feels like a frog. Also the hands like start to be numb and start to get like that sometimes because the body is receiving all this energy from the frog, and we actually get to look like a frog in some moment. As I said, not everyone, not all the time is the same, but it's very characteristic, and actually is when the spirit of the toad takes you also, no? Because you are like kind of receiving all this information from this animal, and you become one with it in some moment. So this medicine, it's felt a lot in the physical body. Definitely, like you have a bunch of physical reactions, no? Because it's a poison, and what it makes is to make our body to react, no? Like it awakes our immune system. It awakes the memory of our body to heal itself by like kind of taking it to an edge, to a limit. Like as we said, like as well, Buffo and Kambo medicines, they are coming from these secretions of the animals that they are their defense against the predator. So they are venom, they are poison. It's just that in small amounts, in the proper amount, it works in our body in an alchemy way that is medicine instead of poison. If you increase those doses and you are not careful, you can provoke something bad, like a bad reaction, because it's what it is. It's a poison still. But in the proper amounts, in small amounts, in the medicine amount, it works as a medicine for our body, giving a bunch of benefits. So this, let's say that the Kambo comes inside of your bloodstream and reaches the heart very quick. And from the heart starts to pump all this to all our system, to all the parts of the body. So the Kambo, the secretion of the Kambo is mostly conformed by peptides. And these peptides, most of them that the Kambo has, they are biointelligent. And what this means is that when they get into our body, they kind of scan what's going on in this body and where does this body needs the help. That's why it's going to affect one person and another person in very different ways. For example, for one person can be helping to recover the view, for other can be like a detox in the liver, for other can be alvarius, like depending on what these biointelligent peptides finds in our body is how they are going to affect to us. So this venom, this poison, is like a trigger to our immune system. No, it's kind of like something comes inside of your body and is waking up everything. Like, hey, like watch out! Like something is here, no, and we're in risk. And it's awakening all the immune system. Is awakening. Our metabolism is very good affected for that. No, like it makes us have a way better metabolism, the use of the Kambo medicine. And it boosts our immune system. That's why it's an amazing medicine that the tribes of the Amazon, different tribes, they work with this medicine ancestrally as well. They work as like it's a natural vaccine for them. It's a vaccine because it goes into our bloodstream, and because it awakes all our immune system. Our immune system is way more high against everything else, like that is external things like bacteria and viruses and pollution, even energies, and because that in the jungle the weather is really rough, the environment is really rough, like you can get ill there from many things, so that's why it's called that it's a natural vaccine in the Amazonian, because it helps the people to be strong against all the environmental context that they live, and that since child they are like facing, so in the tribes, like the Kambo is applied since kids. I actually applied to my kid, and in my family we apply to our kids since around like the 4th years, in order to help them to grow stronger, more protected, and more clean. And also in the tribes, like is applied to the kids in that order, like in order to help them to grow better, to be protected, and to be protected against the environment mainly, that they have like so much things around, and bugs and bites and bacteria, and the weather itself, it provocates a lot of diseases and illnesses. So the Kambo has been a huge ally, for them, a huge friend for the Amazonian people to preserve their health and be strong. Of course, that we are talking about a very different style of life. So one of the main uses that this medicine has had for the people in the jungle is that also awakes all our senses. So they use it for hunting. We in this modern life, we are not actually living like the hunters of the Amazonian, but for them it's really useful for many reasons, like after the Kambo you lose some of your human smell, so they use a lot the Kambo and the rape or nunu also to go hunting, to help themselves with their hunter abilities, and with their skills, because it opens your sense, like you have like way more like view sense, smell sense, ear. So this is all very useful for them for hunting, and because they lost the smell of human for some days, like it's not that long, that's why they used to just right before, so they are like very precise, and the human smell is not there, so the animals cannot smell that they are around. And they are
the nunu being the powdered tobacco for people who maybe don't know.
what
You mentioned the nunu. It's the
is the powder of
powdered tobacco.
yeah, it's like the rape, but in some places they call it nuno, and it's without the nunu, I guess, is without the hashes of other different plants. It's just the tobacco powder, and it's used also in order to help themselves to sharp their senses for the moment of hunting. And this is the practical uses that they have, for this medicine in the Amazon jungle. And also, as I said, like these medicines and the cosmovision of the people in the jungle is also not only like in the mother, like it's a whole holistic thing. So they use it for cleaning what they call, as I said, panema, that is the bad energy, like They, you know, that in the tribes of the Amazon also there is a lot of the culture of working with the ayahuasca and some witchcrafts and things that happens between families, between tribes, between towns, no? And they have used the Kambo for cleaning these bad energies that are sent like arrows, no, during medicine works, and also to clean any other different kind of bad energy, negative energy, lower frequency, lower energy, you know. So the panema is literally like everything that can be causing a blockage, that can be producing this balance, this harmony, no, in our being, in our life. And they use it as it is, as an amplium spectrum medicine to keep you protected against the environment, to keep you protected against energies, to clean yourself from bad energies. It's very useful for cleansing, for example, like from other people's energies, no, from environment energies that we have absorbed, no, for example, sometimes sensitive persons or kids, they absorb a lot just for being in one place and like that, and they start to have manifestations or feeling bad and like that. So the Kambo helps a lot to get rid of any kind of bad energy and unblocks the body in many ways, no, because it's doing a huge cleansing. So I say the Kambo is purgative medicine. Is one of the strongest purgatives that we have in nature, as well as the grandfather tobacco. And they both help to get rid of the flames also that they are stuck in the organs, no, that they create and produces these chronic diseases. The Kambo has a huge work in the liver. It's not that every time and all the purges are the same, because as humans we have very different processes of unblocking and going the cleansings, no, and it's a progressive thing also. But usually we can see colorful purges in the Kambo because is what we had inside. You know, like all that colorful thing that goes out is what the Kambo is cleansing with the help of the water. And when it's coming like yellow and green, as I say, this is liver, you know, it's a lot of liver. Sometimes like we are not able to get rid of all that bile that we have been like accumulating over lifetime, you know. And that's why sometimes like it's very colorful, because that was the thing that was making us feel ill and bad, you know. For example, sometimes the person is having chronic migraines and chronic symptoms that they are related with the liver, with the cleansing of the liver. And with the Kambo, you can treat that. You can treat allergies also, some chronic things, no, that because of the cleansing that the Kambo goes doing in the body. It helps to dissolve, no, like these chronic diseases. It helps to clean, for example, when we take out these flames, no, then viruses and bacteria cannot be living there, because there is not the reservoir, no, the place to live, that is all these condensations, no, and flames that is in our stomach and in our organs. So it's a progressive medicine, I can say. It's definitely a progressive medicine. Like it's always good if you only do one in your life. I mean, like if at least one, but it's one, no. But if you work with the Kambo in a consistent way, you know, like receiving the medicine every certain time, it goes deeper and it helps you deeper also, you know, like it goes digging in, the medicine goes like scanning your body every time and checking and regenerating certain organs or certain areas, as well that cleansing other areas. So it's a progressive medicine, no. I think like all the medicines are progressive, and I also think that they are not like just for taking whatever day, no. It's special moments that we dedicate to meet with the medicines, but I do think that they work in a progressive way, no. As when we go with the ayahuasquero maestro, and is going to work with us through a dieta, through progressions of the amount of the dieta that we drink, the amount of ayahuasca that we will have in the ceremony, progression, no, like ceremony after ceremony. The medicine and as well the shaman can go more profound, no, with the healing and to help the person. So I feel that these medicines, they work like really in a progressive way, no, and that for example, for me, the Kambo is one of the like basic things in my life. No, is something that is part of our life, is part of our caring system. No, like a self-care system that help us to be clean, that help us to be strong, that help us to be clever, to be clear. No, in our mind, to be clear also in our heart, to be aligned in this central channel, because it cleans many things. No, it cleans things in your mind, cleans in your emotions, things in your stomach and everything. So it helps you to have a lot of clarity, and it helps you to be stronger against as well energies or environmental aspects. No, and yeah, like I mean, you know. We gotta do parasite every certain time. We gotta do colonic cleansings every certain time, no, like so we can have like a clean body. It's like the toilet. We gotta clean the toilet. If not, it gets dirty and nasty. And as well, the house. We gotta clean the house because if not, it starts to be dirty and animals start to live inside, and cockroaches and rats comes when it's very dirty. You know, like that's what happens in the physical world. So it's a very powerful tool to keep ourselves clean and like to remain with a good health. You know, like for me is one of the basics medicines that I work with. I help a lot of people with the Kambo. I love to serve the Kambo because helps to cleanse, you know, and it's one of the basics. I have my ashram mentality, you know, like first to clean, and then the divine energy can flow. But if you are not clean, if you want to receive the divine energy, the Shakti, you know, in a dump hole, maybe it's not going to be the same, no, or it's going to find a bunch of obstacles before rising. So I consider the Kambo one of the main medicines, no, like to keep our health good, to keep our body in a good shape, in a good state, no. As I say, it activates our metabolism, it cleans all our digestive system, and it rises and boosts our immune system in an amazing way. And I feel that I don't get sick so much, and also my kid, no, thanks to the Kambo mainly. And yeah, I highly recommend. But also in these times, and I consider that we gotta be careful, because the Kambo works in the heart, no, like Kambo goes directly to the heart. So one of the main contraindications of Kambo is if you have like heart problems, cardiac problems, like you can't have Kambo because it literally can kill you, no, because it's going to rise the rate of the heart, the pump of the heart, like it's going to rise it a lot. Is the first place where the Kambo goes through the bloodstream, no, and because of the recent studies, no, of heart damage in the people that has been vaccinated, being careful to only apply it to people that has not been vaxxed. Still, I have to say that I have attended some people that has been vaxxed before all these studies of the damage of the heart has been showing up and popping up. And it seems that it was very good, no, like nothing happened. I attend like quite a few persons and that have been already vaxxed, and everything was fine. But still, there is a risk that we have to take in count, no? And I say this just for a general information, because this is a new situation that we are facing in the world. I mean, it's an experimental thing, so we are just realizing what's going on, what's happening in the human body. And if it affects the heart, and if you are vaccinated and you want to have Kambo, you gotta check the health of your heart first. and be really sure that you are not having any heart damage before having Kambo. No, mainly Kambo because it's one of the strongest for the heart. It's one of the strongest for the circulatory system. No, and yeah, I just wanted to mention that because it's important. No, like we know that the medicines. Because sometimes they are very strong, they have some contraindications. So Kambo is amazing, and I highly recommend, except if you have any heart problems, because in that case, then it's dangerous. Then it's very dangerous. And then we have.
Can the doses be adjusted for that, or it's best just to stay away?
I think it can be a dose can be measured for that. It's just that right now is like to drop a coin to the air, and it's uncertain what can happen. Yeah, I have heard also another person has been serving and attending people that has been bags, and it seems to help. But also the real thing is that now there is a risk that we didn't have before. And that's just the reality. It's just what is going on now, and that we have to take it in count. And I feel like it's just such a shame, because it's so good for our bodies. But in the case that you are interested in Kambo and you have been bags, then you gotta be careful and checking the health of your heart first before jumping with that, because it can be dangerous. Putting the life in risk, because of the nature of this is a poison, is what it is. It's a poison, is the venom and the defense of this beautiful animal. And
checking the heart would be like a EKG or blood pressure test?
I don't know. I don't know.
But just making sure the heart is healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not very expert on that, but I will suggest definitely that is necessary to check the heart before. In that case specifically, in the case of a normal person, like usually there is not risk if the person doesn't have any cardiac problems. The risk is mainly the heart, because it's very strong to the heart. It's very strong to all the blood system, the bloodstream, like it increases the pump of the heart like way more than the normal. In few seconds, in few minutes, you are having all this reaction in your body. Yeah, I can say that about the Kambo. I don't know if you have any other questions about this beautiful medicine that I can answer to you.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I spent some time with the Matses, and they use it a lot, and it's I think there's something very, very beautiful about it. And, I worked with it a couple times a long time ago, but actually just hearing you speak about it, it's kind of piquing my desire to work with it again. And can you speak a little bit about the Buffo, like maybe for who you would recommend that for, and what that experience is like? Because I think it's something more and more people are hearing about and familiar with, and like what that entails.
Yeah, well, let's then jump to Buffo topic. Buffo alvarius medicine, it works in a very different way. Let me find the words. Well, first of all, as I explained, this extract that has been dry, that is the secretion of the Buffo, is what we burn in a special pipe and vaporize in order to be inhaled through the mouth, contained in the lungs over some seconds until you can't count anymore. Usually when you are counting down to hold your breath, that is the smoke of the thought that you have inside. I usually ask the persons to, since they finish, to have the smoke, to count down from 10 to 0. Usually in the second 5, 6, 7, you're already gone. You're already gone, and your body knows what to do. Is like when you're dreaming, when you're sleeping, the body keeps working. So I'm going to explain a little bit about the Buffo alvarius, and I'm going to try to explain it my best, because this medicine is something that works in a soul level, so it's sometimes very difficult to explain with words what is this, but basically what we have in the Buffo alvarius is a compound or a cocktail of the wildlife of the animal. And there is other buffos like Buffo marinus and other buffos that produce bufotein. Bufotein is also a psychedelic substance for our brain. But Buffo alvarius is the only one in all the kinds of buffos that contains the 5-MeO-DMT molecule. 5-MeO-DMT molecule is the molecule that our same body produces when we are born and when we die. That's why we call that is like this portal. This medicine is a portal, it opens that portal. Sometimes we can access to that state also, to that state, and our body can develop some 5-MeO-DMT in lifetime, between born and die, we have the life. And born and dying is when this portal opens, and it's our same body develops the substance, so we can open and come in and open and go out of this dimension. So there is certain moments in our life that our body can develop naturally the 5-MeO-DMT, because Buffo doesn't contain DMT molecule like ayahuasca and changa and pescoide and other medicines that contains DMT molecule. In difference of this, Buffo alvarius contains 5-MeO-DMT molecule. It has a little difference with the atoms, and DMT works more in the third eye, in the sixth chakra, and allowing us to see the other dimensions that coexist with us, different beings, different scenarios, different dimensions that we are coexisting with. It's just that we have all these filters of the mind. These filters of our mind has been designed by the creator itself, so we can move in this world, in this physical world. It has not been created for blinding ourselves from other things, but it's just what we need for function in this world, like to move and know that there is a wall, that there is not a waterfall in the fifth dimension, is a wall there, for example. And with the DMT molecule, what I have understand is that DMT molecule works in our sixth chakra and allowing our brain, it drops these filters down and allows our brain to see these other dimensions, these other realms that coexist with us, and still is from the observer and the observed, still is a little bit like what you observe here, what you experience here when you observe that, And 5-MeO-DMT molecule is called the top of the pyramid because it works a lot in this chakra, in the seventh chakra, by opening this central channel that we have, to receive the divine energy, to access to higher dimensions of our being. So what happens is that, for example, while DMT is very visionary, the 5-MeO-DMT can be visionary. It doesn't mean that you don't have any vision. It's also I wanted to mention something about Kambo. Kambo is not psychedelic. It's a purgative medicine. But that doesn't mean that you never had vision. Sometimes, because it's living spirits, because these living spirits is the ones that has information for us, that contacts us in different ways. Sometimes We can have visions during the application during the process of the Kambo, or we can have dreams, or we can have intuitions or clarity. We can have certain kinds of information in these ways, subtle ways, let's say, that is the spirit of the medicine that is working with you, but is not psychedelic. But that doesn't mean that nothing else happened, because, like, as I said, not for everyone and not like every time, but sometimes the spirit contacts you and shows you things through the dreams. Sometimes things happen during the application, and they can see what they are purging, where is the root of the problem. Like, this is information that the same spirit and the wisdom of the medicine is opening, so we can understand and help us to heal, help us to our process. So the Buffo alvarius medicine is also not that visionary. It is called psychedelic because of the effect that it has, but it's not that visionary as the DMT or the psilocybin and the mushrooms. Still, you can have some visions. Still, you can have some messages. Like, still, you can have like fractalic visions too, or more spiritual visions. Like your ancestors, your guardians. I don't know. Like, many things can happen. Because that's depending on what was the information or the message that this spirit has for you. And so going back to 6th chakra and 7th chakra and DMT and 5-MeO-DMT, then the 5-MeO-DMT works directly in our central channel, touching this 7th chakra, this gland in our brain, and allowing us to access to higher dimensions of our being. That's why I say that the toad is a medicine that allowed us to have like a experience in the level of our soul. Many of the things that happens in the experience with the Buffo alvarius medicine cannot be expressed in words, because they occur, they happen in other areas of our being, in other parts of our being, and that is deeper levels, about this connection with the source. Like, it can be very different for everyone, but I'm talking about the main characteristics of what this molecule does in our brain. So I'm going to explain a little bit. Our brain has these filters and receptors, and like is configured in one way, so we can keep moving and moving in this reality, so we can be in this world. When 5-MeO-DMT molecule comes, all these filters of our mind, they are pulled down. Like, we have this receptor of serotonin that is waiting for more serotonin to just plug in, as we keep going in our life with our amounts of serotonin to keep ourselves in a good mood, with our like good levels of activity, like, or what is serotonin for is like, it's more for this reality. So the brain is waiting for its serotonin dose, but instead of that, what it comes is a 5-MeO-DMT that it plugs in the same receptor of the serotonin. That because our brain is designed for that. As our brain has a bunch of cannabinoid receptors, so it has these receptors that receives this substance because our same body produces. So when this 5-MeO plugs there, all these filters of the reality are pulled down. One of these main filters that we have is our ego. Our ego is a very important part of ourselves. Like, I really like to speak about this because in these new age and concepts, we speak about the ego like something bad or wrong with that, but we have to understand that it's part of our configuration. It's necessary for us to move in this world. It's one of the filters that we have in our brain. The thing is that as the humanity is more like in these times, like more trained to be in the mental field, then the ego starts to take like a lot of control and like space, because we are not really like that connected with our heart or with our other superior energies. Sorry. So in this way, we are more used to hear the mind. We are more used to be listening to the mind and to give more attention to that. And yes, if we let the ego take the control, it takes the control of our life, no? But I am referring to this because I don't see that the ego is something negative or something that we have to like suppress or cancel or like throw to the garbage. Actually, is like I see it like as a vehicle of our mind, as a vehicle. It contains like kind of like the aspects of our personality, is what we use to move in this world, to interact with other people. But one of the characteristics of the ego is that the ego likes to have the control, and the ego don't want to die. The ego is afraid to die. That's why actually like a lot of the fear of dying is from the ego don't want to disappear, wants to remain, because it's so unreal and it's so etheric that it's just an idea in our mind. Is something that wants to remain and has a lot of fear to disappear, because it's going to disappear. When we go out to another realm out of this body, this is behind, and that's it. And the ego doesn't like that really much. So one of the things that we can experience with the Buffo alvarius is that deed of the ego, or the dissolution for some moment. As I always say to the persons that comes with me to ceremonies, like it feels like a lot of anxiety. It can be feel like anxiety, like fear, like desperation. Sometimes when the medicine is kicking, is rising, is fully opening, and the ego is dissolving, is because of the ego is trying to grab, and the ego is going to try to grab as much as it can. No, that also like the different amounts of this medicine allow us sometimes to go deeper or to release way more, to disattach way more than other small amount, for example. No. Of course, this what I'm saying is metrics amounts that only the persons that are trained to do this like know how much is a little bit or more than, like it's specific measures that we have. With some doses, you can access like to these states of consciousness. With other, you can like experience parts of the medicine, but not like totally reaching, like all this full potential of opening with the medicine. So this medicine, yes, it does have a lot of benefits for the physical body. It's just that I can't say which are they, because as well as the Kambo medicine, and this is something very important about both of these medicines that I work with, and I want just to say it, because it's how I see it, in this time of working with both these animals. They work very quick in our body, like the poison of these animals awakes these memories also of the reptilian brain that we have of how to heal our body. And these medicines is not a plant medicine, it's an animal source, so it's way different than other medicines. And they are coming from amphibians, that they are also a family of the reptilians, so they activate our reptilian brain, and these areas of our survival part of our brain, that sometimes they are not active, but in these areas of our brain is where the memory of how to heal our own body is existent, so they work a lot on that. And these both medicines, they have a quick effect, but very deep at the same time. No, they both are they are made of the wild life of the animal. Kind of the quality of the medicine that we receive is related with the wild life that the animal had. So when we inhale this vapor of the secretion of the toad, it's not only the bufotein and the 5-MeO-DMT, the ones that we are absorbing, but it has also a lot of other things that the scientists are still studying, that they depend more of the wildlife of the animal. What did the animal eat? What did the animal experience? Like all that wildlife is what is transforming their body in the way of the medicine that we receive. And I'm mentioning this because there is a lot of people that is harvesting that is catching the toads of the desert in order to make private farms for toads, no? And yeah, like the thing, and what I want to say here is that these animals, if they are in captivity, they don't produce the same. They don't have the resources to produce the same. It's the risk and the uncertain and the everyday like challenges of life that produces different peptides and tryptophans in these medicines that affects all our body. So in the way of the Buffo, what I can say is that I have seen that helps the physical body in different ways, depending on what the person needs. Sometimes, like honestly, sometimes I don't know what the Buffo does, but it does wonderful things, no? The thing is that as the Kambo has kind of a more physical purgative purpose, no, of cleaning ourselves and allowed us to be more clean, open, and receptive. No, for example, Kambo before other medicines is amazing because it cleans the whole body in order that we can approach in a better way to the other medicine. No, like the ayahuasca, like the wachuma, like the toad. And I actually work with this treatment like when it's outside of my retreats, and the persons ask me for the for the toad. I ask them to have Kambo before, if they haven't had like other cleansing ceremonies, dietas, or something that has helped their body. This is in order to help their experience, to help to have a better approach to the medicine, a better experience also. Because, as I say, no, like first the cleansing, and then other medicines that are more subtle and visionaries, they can be felt with more intensity, more vivid, like we can approach to them in a much better way, you know? And Buffo is kind of like the other side of the coin, kind of, it works way more, like I can describe much more things, for example, about the spiritual properties, the spiritual properties of this medicine than the physical ones. Still, what I can say in like 8 years of working with this medicine is that I have seen, for example, like I served toad once to one of my friends that has dislocated one leg while practicing Ashtanga yoga. So he was practicing and suddenly he could not walk. He was like with a lot of pain with the whole leg dislocated, and he had to wear these sticks for walking. I don't know how to call it in English, these things for walking, and he was living crossing the street from me, you know. It was not like super close, like door by door, but he was very close, like just crossing the street. And I was still exploring with this medicine, so I just say to him that if he wants to try with the toad to see if something helps or something happened. And he did, and he went with a lot of faith and with a lot of faith in the medicine, and until he could like walk a little bit, no, and went there to have the toad, and literally he went out walking without the sticks. Like something happened in that moment, that his leg, he felt it like be placed back in its place, and he could walk without the the things, no? So, like, I'm not saying this to create like expectations, no? And that is something very important with the work of the medicine, that we have like sometimes many expectations, and then what the medicine has is always uncertain, no? Like, it's always different. It's different for every person and in every single experience or approaching that we have with the medicine. But I have seen many things, no? For example, also in the spiritual level, I have seen persons having contact with beloved ones that they have passed away during the session of the Toad. And that contact with them again heals a lot also, no? Like, kind of is what they needed. And the thing is that the medicine always give us what we need, right? Like, is what they do. They have this wisdom, and they work in the way that they know, and in the areas that we needed the most at the time that we needed the most. For example, maybe for my friend that had the hurt leg, that was the main thing for the Toad to work in that moment. And maybe his experience was not like full on to the universe. I don't know, no? And for example, the fact of other people be able to contact their beloved ones that has passed away, that doesn't mean that it fades away the whole pain of losing them, but helps them to understand in a soul level what has happened. And also the fact of being able to feel the soul or the energy, the presence of that beloved one again, opens a lot the understanding, no, of what is this life and beyond that. As I said, and I say it again and again, every experience is different. Every person is different. Every time that we consecrate the medicines, every time that we have them is different, even in the same person, no? But the medicine always knows what to do. So it has been a study, no, that all the other things that this cocktail of the Toad has, they are affecting positively our brain, our neuronal system, or body, you know, in different ways. There is also synthetic alpha-MIO, DMT, and there is people that works with that. No, there is just synthetic alpha-MIO. I don't work with any other thing that is just natural source. Anything that is handmade or intervention by the human. I don't work with any of that because I feel that with the medicines of the Mother Earth, we have the living spirit that is the guide, that is the healer, no? That is the real essence of that energetic work, of that healing. And that spirit is the one that has the wisdom of the Mother Earth, and the one that has contacted us before. Because, like every time that somebody comes to the medicines, it's because they have had some call, dreams, intuitions, like can stop thinking about that frog and about that Kambo, or somebody say, then they start to resonate with that. So it's a calling. And this calling is a mutual like communication in other levels, no? Like, as well, this spirit is trying to communicate with us, as well our spirit is trying to communicate with it, no? And in these realms is where the person starts to feel this calling. Oh, I need to do this, no? And this spirit is the one that calls us, that guides us, that knows us, and that can help us. The server of the medicine, no, in my own point of view, and the one that facilitates the shamans and like that, they do their best work, and it's better always to go with somebody that is reliable to work with, no, because it's very delicate. But what a person that is facilitating the medicine basically does is to allow the energy of the medicine to work on the person, while with the skills that the person has can help to the process, no? But we know that there is other main spirit and superior spirits that they are working with the persons, no? Like when the doctors of the medicine comes to realize to do the, how do you call it, the astral surgeries, no, surgeries in the persons during the ceremonies. This is because these other spirits of the plants and other dimensions, they are there to assist, no. And with the synthetical things, no, we don't have the guidance spirit that is coming from the Mother Earth. So you can have the effect of the 5-MeO DMT, but there is not the guidance of the spirit, no. And for me that is very important. So I'm saying this because in the Buffo alvarius secretion, we don't only have 5-MeO DMT. We have the bufoteina, the 5-MeO DMT as mainly psychoactive, no, molecules or presence in this cocktail. But all the other things, they are also important. And what I have researched and in my understanding, like all this is like food for our brain. Like when you have the medicine of the toad, like because like in our Occidental culture, like we are just transiting from the drugs to the medicines, no, and there is a lot of confusion, no, and some people like still call like drugs to the medicines because they have some effect, no, but this is this is not actually like the only thing that they do, like to put you in a psychedelic space, no, like there is a lot of things that they are going on during an encounter with the medicine. And the visionary experience is part of that, sometimes is more, sometimes is less, but is part of that. It's not the whole thing, it's a part of that, because many other things occur in different levels of our being, in different areas of our brain that we don't even know. Sometimes, for example, when the ayahuasca puts you to sleep because it's needing to go deeper in the subconscious, sometimes you can't hold it, you sleep there, and it goes and works through the dreams, so they have their own way to work. So when you when you ingest the toad, when you inhale this substance and it rises to your brain, it nourishes your brain. It's not that it damages your brain. And I mentioned this of the drugs because sometimes people ask me like, it's not going to fuck me over? And it's actually the opposite. It's going to benefit your brain. And what it does is to create and reinforce certain paths of our brain that they have been non-active, and these paths, for example, they are related with the effect that the toad has, that is a spiritual experience, is opening our connection with the source, and like I mentioned a bit ago that we developed this 5-MeO DMT molecule by itself, or our own body developed by itself, when we born and when we die. But in the middle of that, the whole life happens, and we don't really remember what happened when we were born, because part of this game of being a human is to forget where are we coming from, where are we going back, to forget all about that so we can find it back. And it's part of this game that we commit to get in, and the creator create so we can experience as part of the same creator, and transcend the duality, the illusion and the dream of the duality, to be in this same vehicle, and in this awareness be able to be back to that consciousness, so I'm explaining this because there is a lot of neuronal paths in our brain that they are inactive for the lack of use. Like everything is like the muscles when you exercise, and sometimes we are not exercising or meditation or prayer or connection with the Great Spirit. That's why we don't feel it. We don't feel it at all. We are confused. We don't feel God near. We don't feel God in this existence. We don't feel the support of of all the energies that supports us. We don't feel that our prayers are listened, no, because our neuronal paths, they are not trained, they are not active. And when we have this experience with the toad, sometimes like it activates these patterns, these parts of our brain, these neuronal nets that connects with that experience that we had with the toad. I don't know if you have heard about Tony Robbins' experience. I guess he went to the Amazon. Somebody was he was doing some medicine work, and somebody was serving toad, and he's huge and tall. So the first dose, and this is very common also, that sometimes you don't feel the toad at the beginning. No, also depends in the amount, but also sometimes it's blockages that we have. There is a very small percent of people that feels nothing with the toad, and we just don't know why is that. Maybe it's a chemistry in the body. I have attended few people that they really didn't felt anything. It's very weird, no, but it happens, and I have listened to other speaks about this, and it's a very low percent of around 2%, no, of the population maybe that has some, I don't know, chemical reaction that doesn't allow to feel the 5-MeO-DMT. I really don't know what's that about, but usually what normally happens, no, is that sometimes it's the blockages that we have in our mind, in our being, no, that doesn't allow us to have like to approach to that experience. But every time that, like for example, even if you didn't felt anything, but you had that thought, that did something already and work already, and the next time other things occur, because this part, like this medicine, like was working on unblocking, clearing other things, etc., no. And then when you have another dose, then it goes deeper, then like some work has been done before, and like some unblocking, and then you can perceive it better, no. Like, of course, all this depends in every person is different and has different reactions. But it seems that Tony Robbins, he didn't feel anything, and then the next time, that was like during those days also, like they gave him the toad again, and they gave him a bunch, like a big huge dose for him, and maybe it was a lot, no. And he said that he could access this state through the meditation over around 1 month, or I don't know, for a long time, no. And this is because the neuronal paths in our brain, they get activated, they relate with the experience, and they get activated, so we can access to these states of our being easier. You know, for example, I have friends that they are meditators, no, that they practice the meditation a lot. They have way more like receptivity for the toad medicine, because their brain is also trained also for getting into states, no, by itself. And well, then I was saying that all the cocktail that we smoke from the Buffo is nourishing our brain. No, it's a nourishing for our brain. It's very good in the physical level, but in the spiritual level even more, because what it happens is that it allowed us to go from the duality and separation, no, of the observer and the observer to the consciousness of the unity. What it happens is that we can access, like through this molecular plugging into our receptors, we can access to higher superior dimensions of our being, no, like higher dimensions of ourselves. It's not exactly that we like go far away in the universe, like yes and no at the same time. And here is where the things goes like that, because you can experience with the toad this feeling of everything and nothing, to be everything and nothing at the same time. As well, you can experience like the openness of the white light, like the white light that the people when they die they see. You can see sometimes how this like white light tunnel, like fractalic beautiful light, opens, so you can access to these other dimensions. sometimes you can perceive the huge void of the universe like a black hole, and is part of the same nature of the medicine, is part of the same nature of the experience, no? As I say, like every person has different experience, but the main work that this substance or this molecule does is to open this central channel so we can access to these higher dimensions. And that's why we call it that it's a soul level experience too. And that's why some, like many things you cannot explain, is something that you live, is something that occur inside of yourself, that sometimes it doesn't have a word to explain. But one of the main characteristics and the goal that this medicine has is to reconnect us with the unity, with the consciousness of the unity, not only the concept, the mental concept, but to live the unity, to feel and to experience in this physical body, in this moment being alive, that is not that we are burning or dying. In this present moment of being alive, it allowed us to feel that consciousness of unity. There is people that, for example, through clinical death has the same experience, no? And a lot of teachings and changes occurs during those minutes of clinical death. One of my best friends, that is my co-worker, is the persons that I work with. He's very connected with the toad, and he loves the toad especially because he has had like more than one clinical death, like he's a person that has had a lot of accidents in his life, and he had a car accident when he was 20 years old, and he literally died. He was rescued by the paramedics, and he is alive, but he died there. And when he died, he had this experience like very similar to the toad, like he went out of his body and started to fly in with the wind, with the trees. And the spirit of his grandfather was there with him. He had like a really profound experience, and he was very young and growing in a very conservative little town. So this was a very shocking experience, not only because that was like brutal, like 13 or I don't know how many like surgeries he had to have, like to reconstruct the whole body. It was really painful and traumatic, but the experience, the deep experience that he had, he could not explain to anyone. It was something that maybe like nobody will believe it or like understand. It was very difficult for him like to translate this to be alive again, And when he get to know the toad, he found like the same feeling, the same experience, For him it's very easy, for example, to go there, but because he has had more than one physical clinical death, and for him his experience is very like clear or clean there in that direction, like his experiences are like very beautiful, very peaceful, and he connects right away with those dimensions because of his past experience. So I'm mentioning this in order to appreciate a little bit more the fact of having the possibility of access to these parts of our being without the need of having an accident and almost die and being all hurt and damaged for the rest of your life for the exchange of the lesson or the experience that you needed to awake, because usually like when the clinical death happens and the person comes back is because it was a very important lesson for the life of the person there, So just for me, like this fact makes me to appreciate a lot, the fact that we have these wonderful medicines. I guess in the plant world we have the Wilca has 5-MeO-DMT also. I have never consecrated or have the Wilca, only the Yopo when my kid was a baby, so it was like long ago. But what I understand is that it's something very similar, is the plant source for the 5-MeO-DMT is the Wilca seed, obviously prepped and served in the proper way. And in the animal area, we have with the Buffo alvarius. Until now, I don't know if it's discovering any other thing, but in these two gifts of the nature, we have this amazing gift that allowed us to touch these spaces of our being, that allowed us to connect with these higher dimensions and with our soul without the necessity of having an accident and be damaged for the rest of our lives and having like a lot of pain. So I really consider that an amazing gift for us, for the humans. Many people ask like, who like figure out that, For me, because it's a whole process that is like, well, in my own point of view, and the things that I have researched, etc. Like I can see, and I think that in the ancient Mexican culture, they for sure were working with the toad medicine somehow. It's just that we don't know how, because it's in the sculptures. We can find the Buffo marinus and Buffo alvarius. Buffo marinus contains bufotein more than 5-MeO-DMT, but we can find these buffos with the characteristical glands, etc., in ancient the pictures or sculptures, and even like in very important ones, So for sure that they were in contact, and our ancestors were very wise. So for sure that somehow they were knowing this medicine. It's just that we don't know how, because the method that we use for being able to inhale it, like to have it for ourselves, well, is with tools that is modern tools. I use pipes that is special, that is for high levels of heat, and a special lighter that is like a torch that is heating like with way more potency. So you vaporize in this way with these tools, the toad. What I know is that around 1960s, 1965 or something, there was one person that discovered how to smoke it. And what I think is that it was also a channeling. And I think it was a channeling. I don't know how did this person discover, but it could be for dreams, intuition, or something like that, I guess it was a war veteran. And I don't remember very good the story, but it's recent. It's very recently that we as humans found a way to vaporize this and ingest it in this way. To ingest it by orally and like licking the toad or things like that is not actually how it works, and actually like ingesting the substance orally, like it can be very dangerous, because that's the way that they use it against the predators. So in talking about this, like I can say that the Buffo alvarius medicine is an amazing, beautiful, very intense and very powerful and delicate medicine that doesn't have a whole cultural background as well as the ayahuasca does. It's as strong as the ayahuasca, as delicate as the ayahuasca, but it doesn't have a whole background of culture about how to hold the ceremony, what to do, what not to do, many things that is like the ceremonial background, like of that we have for other medicines, like here in Peru, the Huachuma, like the civilization like Chavin, they grew around it. It has a huge like cultural background. So with the toad, it doesn't have, still like there is people that has found their own way to do a very beautiful work, and there is people that are also like they are experimenting and doing different things, as everything in the nature and in the field of the medicines, we know that sometimes the human makes a wrong use of them, so it's important to be careful, of choosing a right moment and right person to have the Buffo alvarius preferably there is a person with enough experience, with that it resonates with the person, no, with the energy, because it's very intense, it's very quick, no, like as I say, like since the moment that you start to inhale, and in the moment that it's opening full on the medicine, like fully open, it's seconds. It's not a minute. It's literally seconds, less than 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and you are full on there. And yeah, like there is many people that has had horrible experience, very traumatic, that they will not do it again. And sometimes is because the ceremony has not been held properly, you know, like with the proper protections, the proper prayers, the proper permission, no, from the medicine, and also the proper intention of the person that is serving the medicine, because that is one of the main things, no. And unfortunately, as humans, sometimes like different energies crosses inside of us and then like mess up, no. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that because the alvarius medicine is something very recent, no, that has been discovered. And as I told you, like when I went to the desert to harvest the medicine, like, I mean, the toad has been living there forever, and nobody there knew that was a medicine except for the shamans and the people that lives in the Shark Island, Isla Tiburon, and other places where they work a lot with that medicine. But in the little town, for example, that I was, nobody knew about the toad. No, nobody knew that it was medicine or anything. In these times, and this I know because the persons that they send me the toad, like that I get the medicine from, they are real guardians of the desert. They are Seri people, and other that they are not like full on Seris, but they live there, they work with the medicine, they are aware of what it is, no. And these persons like has tell me, like the recent situation that is the in the desert and in the toad field, is that as well the climate changes are like affecting a lot the environment of the toad. Sometimes there is no rainy seasons, so there is no toad. You know what I mean? In the whole year. And the other thing is that there is like now that has been out in the world all this about the toad. There is many people that goes there to steal the toad, the specimen from the desert, like thinking that they will have like permanent medicine, but the real thing is that this animal die outside of the environment that they have. Also, to create private farms is not good. It's not the way that they live, no. At least that they can actually provide for like a wildlife and just a protected area, I guess it can work, no, like that they can keep having a wildlife as they will have, and maybe an extended area that is just protected against other people that will come, because the other risk or enemy that has the toad there is the narco, because the narco has already found that there is something precious there, and now they are taking away the harvest of the harvesters. They are messing up with the area, taking over the lands, taking over the medicine, taking over the toads. So it's a lot of things going on there, no. It's very sad because like as well the human influence is ruining the world, no. It's totally ruining the nature, and like these things like the climate change, is a reality in all the world. So yeah, just to give this information, no, like the toad medicine is exploded, is in danger, also is in danger of extinction, and the people that loves this medicine and the lands, the territory, they are trying to protect the territory, they are trying to protect the animals, they are even taking legal actions, no, because it's native people that they know that this medicine is very precious for the well use, no, but also it's being very precious for other kind of people like the narco traffickers, no. So the people, for example, in Sonora there is this situation, no? So like how just everything sometimes is just perfect as God has just set it up. So because of the borderline between Mexico and USA, you know that this is like the red area. The borderline between the both countries is a horrible war field where everything happens, no? Like the narcos, the drugs, the traffic of people, the kidnappings, the traffic of organs, everything of that happens around there. So part of the narco war in my country, because the influence of the narco has been a tool for war, for killing the country from inside, and these people has like in the borderline over Sonora, Sinaloa, Culiacan, and all these areas of Mexico, there is a lot of drug addiction, and this is because of the influence of the narco. This is what they have give to the people, and it's very cheap and heavy drugs, like crack, cocaine, ice, and a bunch of crap. All the most shitty drugs, and that we know that they are highly addictive and that they just open the persons to a bunch of demons. So this is one of the most real problems that they have in these areas of the country. That is the drug addiction, the all that this has caused, like all that the drug addiction has caused in the society and in the familiar ambiences. A lot of violence, a lot of homicides, a lot of killings, a lot of suicides, a lot of violence in general. There's a lot of suffering, and then there is kids that lives in the street that they have been like abused and raped, and they are in drugs at the age of 10 or 11 years. So there is people in Mexico, and the people that is working with this medicine in order to help the persons with drug addiction, and they have a lot of success by working with the toad, because you know that these drugs, they are highly addictive, and that's the problem, that then they create a physical necessity in our body. So for example, I was listening to one conference that was in Mexico about the Buffo alvarius medicine and all this, and this person was explaining a bit of their work that they do with the young kids of the streets. They have a center, for example, where they work with the toad. They don't call it medicine; they call it like as a tool. One of the tools that we have to work with these persons, they say. And the thing is that, as we know, these heavy drugs, they create like a lot of physical addiction, so the person can't control themselves, like is looking for the substance, like they get lost in that. And just to don't make it so long, but the persons that they work by helping, like kids in the street and people with drug addiction, they say that the toad is one of the most wonderful tools that they have. And the toad is one of the only things that helps them to don't go running back to the street to get the drug, because they can't force them to be inside of the place that they have. They have a rehab center, a rehab place, but they can't force the persons to stay, because that will be kind of against the will of the person, so they can't force the person. So something that happens usually is that they rescue kids, but they run away to the street again because they are addicted. And the toad is one of the medicines or tools, as they call it, that has worked the best, that is helping more people. Because, like, for example, my teacher, I'm going to speak a little bit about him. My teacher is it's called Ananda. Is a French guy, is a French senior that has been working with the medicines over more than 40 years. And he's an amazing channel, for this medicine. He teach me how to hold the ceremonies. He opened my understanding to all the things that I could not understand at the beginning, of how to work with this medicine. and they have also a center in Mexico where they attend people. And well, the thing is that he says that the toad helps a lot to unplug all programs of our brain. No, it helps to unplug all programs that we don't need anymore. It helps to liberate from old memories. He calls it that it's a medicine for the liberation of our being, and also that is one of the most powerful for unplugging those chips, those programs from our mind, and to have a new opportunity for reset, for reprogram, no? And for example, I remember the experience of one person. He didn't have taught with me, no, but I knew him in Mexico, and he told me that he had the toad one day, no. Somebody offered him, I don't know, long ago, and he said, "Well, yeah." And he was a guy from Mexico City. He was alcoholic, kind of like, in many places of the world, like just alcohol is like, how to say it, a normal program, like something that you get used since kids, since young, to see your parents or everybody drinking, and you get used, and then you have your little alcohol over there. No? So he said that he was the kind of guy that he will always have like a whiskey or something, like his pot of alcohol over there, because he was like an alcoholic, a drinker, like a current drinker, how to say it, a frequent drinker. So he had the thought, he didn't feel that much, like kind of, it was not like the ultimate trip of his life, maybe, like he didn't feel that much, it was good, but he was just like, okay, kind of happy with the experience, but not expecting like something great or anything. And he told me that just, yeah, he had the toe, the time passed by, he felt good, he felt way better, until one night, like 1 month after, it was again the full moon, because I think he had it in full moon, and he told me like 1 month after, in the next full moon, it was a window like this, and in the window he always had his alcohol thing, his pot of alcohol. And he said that night, like the ray of the moonlight, like it was coming through the window, so he could see the bottle of alcohol there, and he reminded that he was an alcoholic. He didn't even thought about drinking again. He didn't even thought about the bottle of alcohol. He didn't even realize that he was not doing it again. He just stopped. And these little things, for example, as I say, it's just stories that I can share of things that sometimes happens with the toad, no? For everyone is different, but it's things that happens, no? Because it goes directly to our neuronal system and helps to create new patterns, and also to unplug all chips, all patterns that we don't need anymore, is why it creates these huge effects, like I have known people that after one thought they just have like amazing changes, and they don't need it again. They don't even look for that again, because they feel that they got like a really good change, and they are happy with that. There is people that has done it like many times, and that they keep finding like a healing and a beautiful experience in this medicine. And there is people also that has barely feel anything, and there is people that has feel everything. No, so I never know how is it going to be for one person. The only thing that I can do is to provide the best work that I can with the knowledge that I have, about the medicine, and to allow the person to have the experience that the person is meant to have, and that is from superior things, like from the superior spirits. They will be guiding and directing, and not only during the ceremony, just also after, also in the normal life, when we need actually to be directed, and Yeah, I have seen very beautiful things with the toad, no, like miraculous things. Also, almost nothing to happen. I have seen people that felt nothing. Like we had one friend in one retreat in the first center that I came to work with, no, because now we hold retreats between one little team that we have, and the ayahuasca maestro Pepe Francini, that he's amazing, and all his family is amazing, and Christopher, that is my co-worker, and me and another friends that they were helping us to organize from Australia, that they has been like angels for our team. Well, we organized these little retreats, no, after having a lot of experiences with one center that I was working with. And in this center we were attending a bunch of people, and I remember one person specifically that he was having like a resistance already with the ayahuasca. He was like needing to drink more, no, but with the toad he just felt nothing, like nothing. And I was not serving him that day, it was another friend, but I was in the first servings to him, and we gave him 2 macro doses, nothing. She gave him like a third one and nothing, no. So it just sometimes happen. Maybe it's the chemistry in the body, maybe it's other things, I don't know, but it's very weird that that happens, no, like usually it's very intense. And the way that I work with this medicine is like a kind of the same, is the it's my own way to work it, no, it's like a way that I have developed, like it's always guided by my intuition. And I start to work in this way because knowing the process with the medicine, and after being attending people, no, in this other center and seeing many things, like I decided to start to give first a small dose to the person. Is I can call it a micro dose, but it's not that micro, you know, like the amounts of toad, they are small, so it's a smaller dose, like maybe a third of the full dose, of a quarter of the full dose. I don't know exactly how much because I don't use grammars. I can use, but I don't know. I know how to measure depending on the person. So what I do is to give to the person, if, specifically, or most important, if it's a first time, no, or if the person is very nervous, like, but usually first time, no, because I attend a lot of person that does the thought for first time. So when is the first time that we're going to do it, like we're usually very nervous, like is a very special moment, no, like kind of is, you know, like this feeling of when like something unknown and makes you very very nervous, and you can already feel it, that it's going to be deep or that it's going to be intense, and the person is like nervous and a little bit resistant and afraid of what's going to happen, and if we say like, oh, it's a medicine, there's a portal to the dead, oh, I'm going to die, no, like all these things. So I start to work it, even that it takes me more time and more medicine or whatever, like in my own way. I serve first a small dose, and without my intervention, no. I serve a first dose, a small amount to the person, in order that the person can connect with the medicine, can relax and can feel it, but without the full on intensity, like for a first encounter, a soft, because it's not that soft, a softer first encounter with the medicine. In that way I can measure the sensitivity of the person to the medicine, the reaction of the person of the medicine, depending on how the person felt the amount that I served, no. And that for me is very useful, so I can see the reaction to the medicine and the sensitivity to it. And for the person it's very useful in the way that it allowed us to be more calm, be more relaxed, no, like kind of, it's not that strong as the first dose, so you inhale it and you can feel the medicine, definitely you can feel the peacefully effect that has in the brain, in the neuronal system. Is very beautiful, it's very peaceful, but also creates catharsis because it's very intense. So it has that duality too, no? But in this first dose, the person can relax a little bit more for the next dose, can taste the flavor of the medicine and get used to it, can feel how does it feel this smoke, because it's white dense smoke, can feel like how does it feel, no, like that is passing through, because also sometimes we are very nervous, no, so sometimes like you pass the pipe to the person and like and it blows it out because you feel nervous in the moment, like, oh, what I'm doing, no? And it happens a lot. And if you do that, like literally, like all the medicine goes away and dismiss it in the air, like it's gone. It's like that, no? So with the first amount, the person can feel more confident about like, okay, I can have the other amount, no? And if the person, for example, like is having a better idea of how does it feels because it's dense smoke, so you have to smoke it like very slow and yeah, like consistent but slow, without like opening the throat, like because it's going to hit and you're going to cough, no? So it's very useful, this small dose in my ceremony, so I can introduce the person in a softer way and I can check how is the reaction. And then based on that dose, I give the full dose, based on the sensitivity of the person and the reaction that it had, no? Also, sometimes there is some people that just the first dose was more than enough and they don't want anything else. But then the full dose, I take the medicine with them also. So I prep my pipe and I prep my own dose that is also almost a full dose, let's say. No, sometimes I put a little bit less, sometimes I put a full dose like the person, depending always on how I feel that the work needs to be done. No, so by me doing it at the same time with the person is well, the purpose of this is like when the ayahuasquero drinks the medicine with you, no? Like we go together to this field, to this realm, and sometimes like, well, how can I explain it? This medicine of the toad is not purgative, no? It's not going to make a purgative effect. Still is very cleansing, is very liberating, and also moves a lot of energies. So sometimes the person needs to spit or like something comes out. It's not purgative, but if the energetic movement is necessary, it is what happens. So when the person ingests the full dose, usually is laying in bed, no, is laying, is out of the body, is in these other realms or dimensions of the being. So usually the body is breathing and doing its own normal functions by itself, but is not able to move in consciousness. So many of the depuration energies passes through me and I purge or spit things there, and I use my tools to clean the ambience, to harmonize the ambience of the ceremony, because as we know, when the medicines comes, no, like they have this very strong spirit that is kind of like it exorcises out all these lower energies or entities, emotions and things that we have, no. So in my own understanding at least, when we open with the medicines, that's why in the ceremonies it's so important to have like the proper protections and tools that we need for that opening to the other realms and dimensions, because in all those other realms also many other things coexist, and even inside of us. So in a ceremony, in a groupal ceremony, we are all opening and depurating, no? As well, in an individual ceremony, we're opening and things are coming out from our energetic body. So sometimes the person is screaming, crying, sometimes it's peaceful, sometimes it's not doing anything, no? It's just peaceful and feeling the medicine and receiving, like laying down in the bed. Sometimes it's very cathartic, sometimes it's very dramatic. sometimes it sounds horrible, but the experience that they have inside is wonderful. No, sometimes they are screaming like if they were like falling into the void, but they were having the most amazing experience inside. No, so the thing is that in the moment that I have the medicine with the person, I help for the medicine to open more and to harmonize the ambience, not through doing like the proper cleansings and things with the tools that I have in my altar, for softening the energy of the depuration or the experience that the person is having. There is persons that ask me, like sometimes honestly I don't know how to answer these questions like that much, but like for example some people ask me like how do you do or what do you do. Honestly, like I just let the medicine to guide me, and my intuition is everything. Like my intuition tells me what to do. I can stand up even if I have a full dose because I'm trained for that. It's not that I'm just, I don't know, I'm trained for that. I have a lot of experiences with the Toad medicine, and I have created this deep connection with the medicine, and I have offered myself to the medicine to be her channel whenever it needs me. So that's what I do. It's not really a conscious work that I like, oh, this is, no. And sometimes I also explain to the person, sometimes I can feel the vibration or the kind of energy that is being depurated or that we need like to clear in that moment. If I need to know, the medicine let me know. If I don't need to know, the medicine doesn't open that information for me. Sometimes I feel the memories of abuse of the persons. Sometimes I feel the deep pain in their hearts, and where is it coming from, because they need to speak about it. And sometimes I don't receive the information. I just do my work, that is cleaning out the negativity and the heaviness, no? And saying that without any judgment is just that all us as human beings, we albergate a lot of low energies and lower emotions. Some of them they convert sometimes in entities because they have been fitted for a long time with this like thinkings and like repetitive emotions and cycles, like these addictive cycles of emotions and suffering. So they become like a living entity, and sometimes, as I say, like I can feel what is the work about, and sometimes the medicine doesn't give me access to that information, just allow me to do the work and to clean out, sometimes, for example, the person tells me that they were feeling that something was coming up, like a purge, like that where they were in the state, laying down and another thing, and they were feeling that in their body something like a purge was coming, but then they hear me purging me. So this is the way just that the medicine works, and it helps to clean the energies in order to benefit the person, but also that the person can have a deep experience, Sometimes, for example, in the first doses, when I don't have the medicine with the person I'm observing, I can see that the person speaks more by itself, like kind of goes more and looks. Also, it's not that deep, the state. So they are more with more mobility, so they can spit their own things, But this kind of cleansing that the toad does is a little bit different than the other cleansings, like the purge of the ayahuasca or the Kambo purge, but definitely is a cleansing. It's just that it's more energetic, it's more subtle, the nature, it's not that much directed in the physical level, maybe, but it's very powerful. And yeah, sometimes for example, I feel like the heat of the energy, I feel the heat of the negativity. Sometimes I end up in the floor like, oh, how did that happen, But I just don't let this kind of to concern me. I just do what I know what to do, in the moment that I'm attending the person. But yeah, that's why I have the medicine also accompanying the person, And in my own point of view, it helps the process, and it helps to open the medicine as well, that it helps to transit the process of the medicine in a softer way than without any assistance. And this is because, like, how to explain it? Sometimes it's a lot what we have inside, and we need some help. No, sometimes it's a lot, and if you let alone the person, like, the person will have to deal with all that by itself. And sometimes the person doesn't have the proper inner tools or physical tools to do its own cleansing. Even the focus of the mind, no, for example, even the believance, no, like to face those amounts of darkness that opens with the medicines. Because I have to mention that as well with the toad, as well with the other medicines, not everything is just pure light. But in this world of duality, the medicines, they let us feel sometimes the duality too, no? Like in an ayahuasca ceremony, sometimes it's like you go to hell, and sometimes you go to heaven, and sometimes you go to the Pachamama and explore there, no? I mean, sometimes it's very dark, the experience. And it's not because the ayahuasca is bad, it's showing us things that we need to see. And sometimes the ayahuasca is pure bliss and love, and all that can happen in 1 week of treatment. You can pass through many different stages with the medicine. So the toad is the same, no? It's not only that it's going to open us to the purest light and that's it. Also can bring us to the void, no? Can also can be experienced in different ways, and those different ways can be scary. Can be scary because, as I say, it's a lot of negativity sometimes what we have inside. And I feel, in my own perspective, that that is what it makes us afraid as human beings. What is inside of us, more than what is outside of us. Because most of the times, that darkness that we are afraid of is our own experience, is our own darkness, is our own fears, no? So sometimes, and that's why I have many friends, know that they have had told with, I don't know, with somebody that maybe didn't hold the ceremony properly or didn't help them so much, and then they had to handle with all that for themselves, all that happened in the ceremony, all that it opened there, all the darkness and the void that they are perceiving. And sometimes, like, that is hard to accept, and sometimes it's very shocking, the experience, and the people gets like, no, I don't want to do this again ever. But I can say that all the medicines, they have this kind of duality, that they can approach us as well to the most blissful state, as well to our own living hell, and it's nothing to be afraid, because there is always like lessons and important things that we need to understand when the medicines brings these experiences to us, but it's very important like to do it in the right time, in the right space, and with the right people that at least that resonates with you. I'm not saying like maybe that somebody that had like many titles, or I don't know, but at least that somebody that resonates with your energy, and that you feel right to do it in order to have a good experience with the toad. Because this medicine of is the grandfather of the desert, and is very strong, very intense, very quick also. And it has, if I can describe, like as we say that the ayahuasca has a feminine energy, like an anaconda, aquatic energy, because it goes like they're taking us, like in this journey with her, and like exploring like deep inside, and showing us like it has her own process, her own way to show the things, and is we related that with more in a feminine way. So the toad, the substance of the toad, it comes from males and females, but we call it grandfather toad because it has much masculine energy that comes like straight and direct and very quick and very precise in the moment, and that is the most kind of strong part, of the ceremony of the moment, like in the moment that the medicine opens, that is in a matter of seconds. the intensity that it brings. Some people shake, some people cry, some people sweat, of all the energetic movement, and some people just is like peaceful and like receiving or dreaming or something like that, some peaceful state. There's different reactions, as I always say, like whatever that we experience inside of the ceremony, wherever that it happens, whatever is the reaction, is what it's meant to be, is what the medicine had for the person. And in the case, for example, of Buffo alvarius, I always prefer to hold single ceremonies. Sometimes I attend 2 persons, but honestly, I definitely recommend single ones, because even that is your partner, your couple, your family, if you like, in the moment that both persons in the same moment has the medicine, one can react very dramatically and the other person will not be able to concentrate, because it's very short, the rank of time that is going to be acting the medicine. The rank of time is like, since you have the medicine until kind of like the effect goes away, 20-30 minutes, 15 minutes, even shorter. Like, for example, when you access to these dimensions of the being, that is it's dimensions of our own being, and the other dimensions to is one itself. When you access to these dimensions, the time changes. So it's not the same perception of time that we have here. So what happens is that sometimes in those 5 minutes, the person had like one of the most like deeper and like spiritual, or I don't know, like deeper important experiences, that in its consciousness of time, where that consciousness was, it was an eternity. And here in this world, it was like 5 minutes or 3 minutes. I remember one friend that had one of the deepest experiences of his life, and I was starting to work when he came back. He was like, "How long was that? Like 1 hour?" And I was like, 2 minutes and a half. Like I was going to start to do the work with the perfumes and everything, and he was totally back. But that didn't dismiss the power of his experience. Like it was just like very short in this time here, but for him, for example, was an eternity that he stayed in the other dimension. So it's very relative, the time of what we live when we ingest the medicine, when we inhale the toad. But the time in this world is around like 5 minutes to half an hour, and you are coming back. And usually the main effect is just some minutes. It's like the first 10 minutes is the peak effect. It's just that then like the energy starts to low down, like to dismiss the intensity, and the person is coming back slowly, and everyone does at the proper time or at their own time. So some people is ready right away, and some people needs to be with themselves for another 20 minutes, another half an hour. So that's why my ceremonies usually are long, 2 or 3 hours with the toad, so we can have the first dose and then the full dose, and then the person to be ready to come back, and usually it takes some time to integrate, like as I say, like many things that occurs, they are in different levels of our being, so it's very difficult to speak about them, and it's better to have like time for integrating, like time and privacy, like to have some time to be ready, like to have a proper integration after the thought. Usually in the retreats that I hold, like that's why we do retreats, like for being able to hold the process of the people, to coach them in the whole process with the medicines. But if it's a single ceremony, I'm always attending after, how is the people feeling. Sometimes like process unleash, after Kambo and Toad sometimes doesn't that much, no. But in any case, they demand or they need a time of integration of both, as well Kambo as well Toad, and and to be calm and rest and not with so much crowd, no, and during the first day after 2 days after at least, so the person can integrate better the experience, because as I said, like most of these things, it happens in different levels of our being. So sometimes the person starts to decipherate through the dreams, sometimes with the days, sometimes through the talking, no, like to expressing him or herself about the experience. So yeah, is what can I say about the Toad medicine also, Jason?
Wonderful, Kunti. I think we've officially surpassed the longest podcast. We're at close to 5 hours.
I'm seeing, like, my kid is going to kill me when I go home. Like, I'm just seeing that it's getting dark here in the window.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how we spend 5 hours here. Must be the Toad.
But that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. It was beautiful for me. I love every time where I really get to learn, and I feel like I've learned a lot from you, and I think the audience really will too. If people are interested in reaching out to you or working with you, which I'm sure some people are going to be, how would they get in touch with you?
By social media, maybe. Yeah.
Like Facebook or?
Yeah, by Facebook, by WhatsApp. I'm trying to don't be so much in social media, and honestly, I don't promote so much my work there, because I have a bunch of things to do at home. No? So sometimes there is not so much information of what I do online, except for the page of my retreats. No, so yeah, I can share with you the page, for example. Maybe for putting in the comments or something like that, so the person can read there. Like in our webpage, we have some scripts that has been done by myself about each medicine that we work with, and some other reference like the work of the ayahuasca maestro that we work with, experiences of our guests, and the different dates or different kind of retreats that we're holding. Yeah, and my friend Christopher Allen is the one that works more in promoting our work in that way, but I'm always attending people, like every week I'm always attending and at the service of the medicine, and usually people contacts me by WhatsApp. Okay. And from boys to boys, from friend to friend, you know? And yeah, I will be happy to attend anyone that feels the calling for these beautiful medicines.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Kunti. It's been a pleasure, and who knows, maybe we'll even split this one up into 2 parts. And
I think so.
You'll be the first person to have a part 1 and a part 2. So.
I think so.
Well, thank you, Kunti. I really appreciate it.
Thank you too, Jason. Thank you for inviting me. It has been really fun, and I'm sorry if I took too long. Maybe I say things like one after another again. No. But yeah, I there is certain things that I like to mention more than once, so the people can like get it well, no, and understand like these things about like, and the medicines, they are different for everyone. They behave different inside of us, so we can have like less expectation of what is going to occur to us, because sometimes the expectation is the one that closes all the other possibilities, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So I hope I didn't bore all of you with so much frogs and Temazcal stuffs, and I hope that everyone that listens enjoys this talk, and that can be useful, this information also from my own experience. No, as I said, many of what I'm sharing is from my own experience through working with these medicines and attending people over years. And I'm very happy to be able to share this with you and your beautiful channel that is full of amazing information that I will keep checking there. And thank you very much for your time also, Jason.
Yeah. Yeah. And just a personal note, I mean, I've sat with you in Temazcal a couple times, and you hold a beautiful space, and Marav has worked with you, and she said amazing things. So I think and know people would be in really good hands with you. So
Thank you.
thank you, Kunti.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Kunti. As I said, this conversation is broken up into 2 parts. So if you're turning into the first part, stay tuned next week to the second part. And if you're just tuning in for the second part and you haven't seen the first part, then consider going back and watching that first part. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that episode. For me, I learned a lot. I always enjoy the podcast where I get a chance to do some learning myself. As always, if you're able to support this podcast, that's a really big help to me. Patreon is a really good option. It's a subscription service for as little as $1 a month. You can sign up. It gives you some really nice perks back, things like early access to shows, bonus material, Q&As. That's a really big help to me to continue to make these podcasts. To all the people who have done that, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And if you are able to do that, that's a really big help. There's also the ability to direct donate via PayPal. I'll put a link to both of those in the show notes. Also with the YouTube channel now, there's the option to join the channel. It gives a lot of the same perks as the Patreon option. Below the video, there should be a join button for that. And then if you're not able to do that, subscribing to the show is a really big help. Turning on the notification bells, liking the videos. Again, that may seem like a small thing, but that's a really big help with the algorithms. And with the audio version going on Apple Podcasts, following the show, leaving a starred rating and a short review. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed both parts if you get a chance to do that. The following week, I will have on my friend Paulette, and after that, I believe my friend Ido, and that's as far as I've scheduled for now. But as always, I will continue to bring on some really interesting guests. So thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you all on the next episode.
Tungai